Recording is in progress. It's such a pleasure to see you all, people. It's a wonderful opportunity and it's great. This is our first webinar in this year, 2024, following up this strategy of being a community of practitioners. We want to identify the strategic topics and discuss among ourselves. We are in the family. This is just for us. And the topic we chose was this sustainability thing. There are so many concepts about sustainability. Does it add value to our strategy? Can we identify best practices among members? And this is just the opening of the dialogue. It's not that we're going to finish here anything. It's that we begin talking about this topic. Okay. And we have Rabea Buselat. Thank you so much, who's gonna lead us through these very basic notions to begin with. What is this all about? And what are your best practices for you people in Germany? 30 minutes, just 30 minutes. And then we open the dialogue. Maybe other people from different members can share or ask questions. And that's it. It intends to be very short, very sharp, and just the beginning of something else. But so far, so good. So we are recording this, remember? And Rabea, we are all yours for the next 30 minutes at least.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, welcome everybody. Good to see some familiar faces, some new faces. Very excited to share some insights on our sustainability project today. And I will share my screen to show you my presentation. I hope you can all see it now. Perfect. And yeah, we're gonna share some best practices because when Antonio asked us to give a little insight in our sustainability program, we wanted to have it very practical for you guys because we know not everybody's on the same level on sustainability as like some may have done a lot more than we have. Some may have done nothing yet, but are willing to do something. And so we wanted to have it very practical.
Hay una charla interesante sobre los
Antonio, can you maybe mute people who don't have their mics open?
Okay, please
well,
mute.
Thank you.
Please mute, and I recognize the voice.
I think you can. I think you can mute it as the host. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks. So yeah, we wanted to have it very practical and share some of our ideas, best practices that we have done in the last couple of years. So yeah, but first, before we start, I wanna get you guys involved, and I want to see what sustainability means to you. So I prepared a little Menti. I hope you all know that Mentimeter is it's just a platform. You can just go to the URL. You can do it from your mobile phone. You can do it on your desktop, whatever works best for you. And then go to menti.com, and then you just have to add a code. There's nothing, you don't have to register or anything. You just enter the code. And then a question will pop up. It says, what does sustainability mean to you? And I would love for you to answer that. Actually, gonna show you the screen so we can all look at it together. And I'm gonna wait for a couple of seconds here to see if you all have some ideas on sustainability and what it means to you. And also you can scan the QR code if you're yeah, there's some. Do you all see the answers? Because I see them here on the screen. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So very interesting. Healthy Earth, economics, responsibility, growth, green planet, healthy people, Mother Earth, future, being vegan, better tomorrow, a must-have, yes, very much. responsibility seems to be one of the top words that you all have chosen. Thank you. Thanks for interacting with me. So I think what you can see in this word cloud is that sustainability is, well, it all means something else to all of us, but we still have, I think, the same global idea behind it. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint presentation now, because what you can see in the word cloud is that there's more to sustainability than just climate or environmental aspects. So what we tried at Experiment, we wanted to look at everything in the magic triangle, as we call it. So we wanted to look at the 3 pillars of sustainability. And as one of the oldest exchange organizations, we, of course, sustainability was new to us because it has always been a topic in our over 90 years. We've always been very sustainable with all our resources, especially as a nonprofit organization. But we wanted to see what exactly are we already doing in these 3 pillars, and what do we still need to do. So this is why, in addition to the ecological sustainability, which is very popular, a lot of people talk about it, everybody knows the climate crisis and therefore the consequences that go with it. But we also wanted to focus on social sustainability. And of course, we cannot completely ignore economic sustainability as well. So yeah, we kind of wanted to have a larger picture on the topic. So as a kickoff, we wanted to use our 90th anniversary in 2022 to start our sustainability concept. We already had a strategic component within our strategy as an organization, which we already had since 2015, but we wanted to write this down and see what the outcome was. So as one of the first German exchange organizations, we reported a sustainability report, and we used the framework called Deutscher Nachhaltigkeitskodex, which is German sustainability code translated. And it goes through all the status quo issues of your sustainable aspects. So it takes a look at all the 3 pillars: the economical, ecological, and also the social pillar. And for the first time, this was a very big issue to address, not only the the ecological pillar, but also the economical and the social one. We also, and we did this parallelly, we also offset our carbon dioxide emissions in the head office. So, which is why we are climate neutral for the year of 2021, and we continue this over the years. So we always have to look back on the year before, and then we have to give in some information on the scopes, and then we get the certificate of being climate neutral. So these were the first steps we took, and we wanted to have a greater look on all the aspects that we already did in a good way, and we wanted to see what the status was. And we formed like a task force, a group of people who wanted to do something for the sustainability here in our organization. And we took a look at it all together, and we looked at our building, we looked at the people, we looked at our programs, of course. We took a look at finances. So we really did the whole thing, and it took us about a year to, I think a year to publish actually the report, which is I think 50 to 60 pages long. So it's quite a work to do, and definitely not necessary to do, but this is just how we went with it. So we published that report, and what did it actually have? as I said, I wanted to use practical ideas to show you what we already do and maybe what you can also use in your organizations, or maybe in the discussion later we'll figure out some new ideas also. So the status quo was at that time, which was 2022, when we published the report, that we already had some environmental goals that we already had accomplished. So what we do is we compensate our flight emissions from our participants, especially in the high school outbound section. We do that, and we thought about, you know, what can we do to get participants to actually compensate, to actually pay for compensating their flight emissions. So what we did is we have a little checkbox in our final contract, which says if you do not want to save the climate, you can check here. So they need to opt out if they don't want to compensate. So that was actually a big deal, because from then on, the people who compensate the flights actually went up to 40% after that, because a lot of people don't like to say that they don't want to save the climate. And so that was a kind of psychological trick we used, and it worked. So it's all for the good matter and for you know, saving the climate. So that's what we did. And we also have like little things that we do is we use vegetarian, also vegan meals at all seminars. So this is also a opt out. You have to actually say it when you want to use when you want to eat meat at a seminar. So also something where we try to get people in the direction of doing something for the climate. We also in, I think that was also 2022, when we changed our traveling framework for inner German flights. They're no longer prohibited. Of course, there's always an exception to the exception, but this always needs to go through Bettina, and she needs to approve of it. And in general, there are no inner German flights anymore for any of our office members, and we also use public transportation whenever it's possible. Also, we already had green electricity and green gas, so there's not really much that we needed to do, but we just regularly review our contracts and see if there's better, better possibilities to get green electricity to our office. For the social aspect, we focused and we kind of used the report to actually set the SDG 4 as the primary goal, and I'm going to get to that in the next in the next bit. So I'm just gonna say this real quick, that this was one of the biggest parts of our social sustainability, was that we use intercultural exchange, of course, for our formal, for our non-formal education. And of course, scholarships are a big social impact on sustainability. But we also wanted to focus on our office and on our employees, and see what else do we do what has a social impact. And so this is just some ideas. We actually have a lot of more than this, but you know, working flexible hours, doing remote work, kind of vacation, sabbatical, all that kind of things are possible in our office. So it's very, I think it's very employee friendly, I think. So people would actually want to come and work with us and stay with us, hopefully. So that is sustainable employeeship, and you want to have people working here for many years. So this is what we do. And also, we have some educational trainings called LEX, which is translating to learning from experiment. And we also have some internal trainings to all kinds of matters. We had a training about food sharing once. There's some trainings about how to work with Canva, which is a picture editing tool. So we try to make it very various and very make it work for everyone to get something out of it. And for the last part, for governance or economical issues, we already had a code of good practice for ethical and just the way we want to work together and we want to speak to each other. But we also have some different approaches. So we could maybe preference acquiring regional service providers for our the people who work here, or the printer that we print our brochures with, and also some sponsoring partners that are in our regional area. We also have a sustainable and very ethical green banking solution. So our finance team is working with a bank there, and we also have a health and safety team, which is very important for us to give guidance and also help to participants, but also employees if they need it. So this is all the stuff that we already had at that moment, but we just wanted to write it down because we didn't have a full list of everything, but now we do because we reported it. But also we wanted to set goals because we don't want to just rest here and see, okay, we already do a lot of good stuff, so we don't have to do anything anymore. But we wanted to set goals and see what else is there that we can maybe optimize. So now we are compensating actually all the carbon dioxide emissions from all of our business trips. We didn't do that before, but now we do. We want to introduce a systematic recording of paper consumption. We haven't done that yet, but it's a goal for this year, so fingers crossed. And we also did more sustainable gimmicks. Now, everything we ever buy for giveaway merchandise, we also always take a look at the sustainable side. And we've done this before, but now we're more accurate with it. And we've also had we had to compensate our energy consumption from the website as well. That was a small thing to do. There's actually agencies and firms who do that for you. So that is a small impact that you can do. For social, of course, we increased our sponsorships or scholarships in general, but especially for the program USA for You, that's a full scholarship program for middle school students. We wanted to find more sponsors for that kind of program because we think it adds to the social sustainability value. We also established a corporate volunteering routine and reviewed our corporate benefits for our employees, so that also adds to the social aspect. I'm trying to speed up here, so I'm gonna leave some things, just you can read them on the paper. But one big thing that we also did for 2024 was establish an IT ticket system, because we've had a lot of problems with IT solutions, and we had one of our colleagues, Tom, who's here. He had a lot of work to do with all the IT issues, so we established a system which ensures that he is no longer responsible for everything that happens on the IT issues, and then it's more sustainable to have a direct communication with someone who can actually solve the problem. So that are some goals that we wanted to achieve and still are trying to achieve for 2024, which is where we are publishing our next sustainability report. So just want to quickly sum it up that the SDG 4 was our primary goal, as I already said, and we wanted to reach as many people as possible with our programs. So we try to keep this goal in mind, where we clearly commit to sustainability through the sustainability code, and it's anchored in our strategy and the objectives in the objectives for our management and all areas of work, really. And also, we of course need to monitor these KPIs. We need to monitor the indicators. So we do that in the finance department a lot, but also in some other parts, like the paper issue would be something that is with the marketing and communications department. And of course, our greatest strength in the SDG 4 is always the participation of people, young people. So it's a great strength that we are working with volunteers and in all program areas. So this is also working and helping to add value to the quality education SDG. And something I just want to add real quick is that we now, in the last couple of years, we established the inner development goals as well. I don't know if you all heard about this before, but the IDGs is a very popular framework now that adds value to the SDGs as well. So just trying to explain a little bit, as we all know this, there are different studies on the effects of short and long-term exchanges, and what they all have in common is that they emphasize a considerable increase of future skills. So if you just look at the skills that I don't think I have to name them because you all know these. And what does that mean? It means we need to close the knowing and doing gap. We know a lot about our target group, we know a lot of our participants, but we also need to actually contribute to it. So this is what the IDG, the inner development goals, that's their approach. They want to know, how can my personal individual actions contribute to making this world a better place? And of course, we think that we already contribute a lot by, adding our programs to the planet, to the people, to the culture, and giving peace and understanding and respect. But we wanted to see what is every single individual really taking from it. So we started a program. It was a 7-week program in 2023. And we did a big survey with our full-time and voluntary staff, and we kind of asked them different questions. And we want to see that after a year of planning some IDG measures, we wanted to see if the results hopefully optimized after that. So what the IDGs do is pretty much say, how can I work with others? What's the strength in my work? Where can I start, and how can we act all together? And so this is just a very quick explanation of the inner development goals, because I think, am I running out of time? Yeah, I think I am. So if you want, okay, just wanted to speed up things because I have one more slide. But
we are paying fully attention to.
We're really trying to work on our inner goals to contribute to the SDGs, to the Sustainable Development Goals, and this is what we do. We have a lot of measurements that are spread throughout our voluntary and our full-time workers, and so we want to see where it takes us, and I'm very excited to see in August 2024 we're actually gonna renew the survey and see if the people actually feel the impact of the IDGs. And so I'm very excited to see if that will work out. But if I'm going to go back to the beginning and see, as we all come from different organizations and we all start at different starting points, I wanted to give you a little agenda, maybe a map of how maybe you can start the big topic of sustainability, because it is big, and I know that sometimes it's hard to start, and maybe you think you don't have a big of an impact, but we all do. So what I would suggest that you start with the status quo, just like we did with our sustainability report. We started by writing everything down that we already do concerning ecological, social, and economic issues. And we wrote it all down. And then we kind of sat down and looked at it again and said, okay, these are the aspects that actually add value to our sustainability. This is the first thing that you really need to do. And then you can go and find and determine new goals and see what is really your concept of ESG sustainability. And for this, you can either use a national or international framework. The German Sustainability Codex is just one idea, but you can also, I think there's a lot out there that you can use. Maybe there's country-specific frameworks, I am not sure, but there's at least an international standard you can use. And it will give you indicators. It will also guide you through the different pillars of economical, ecological, and social sustainability. So you can keep a better track of them. And as the big question, I think, Antonio, you said it in the beginning, what value does it add? So I think it is why is it an advantage for organizations to address this issue? And I say it's as an exchange organization, it is our main goal to bring people and cultures together, and we need sustainable ideas to make this work. So I think we need to look at not only credibility and reputation, but also and foremost future viability, because sustainability sustains the future, and we all need to look at it, and we cannot just close our eyes and let it happen. So I guess we all need to take credit and get started now. So yeah, I think it does add a lot of reputation and credibility. We also see it on our participants who actually come to us because we have we address sustainability. So we actually get a lot of feedback from participants who see that we are doing something for sustainability, which is, I think, a great way of getting feedback to this topic. And this is it. I'm done, and I would love to discuss with you. Maybe some aspects are new, maybe some are not. Maybe you have some ideas on what we can do better. I think it's very important to know that, and we know this, that no one's perfect. I mean, we're all trying, we're all giving our best, and we know that there are some things that aren't sustainable maybe as we want them to be, but as I said, we're giving our best and we're always trying. So I think that is it's better to take one step than no step at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabea. Thank you so much. So now
I would stop the screen sharing so I can see you guys again, if that's okay for you.
Yes, please.
I can go back to it if you
have
see questions.
All these 37 people. So let's ask questions. There are many hands already, and I'll go little by little. Lisa from Germany.
It's clapping hands.
It's a clapping. Okay. So clapping hands are okay.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Clapping hands. So I have two questions, and then we open these questions for everybody. The first one is reputation. You said reputation is important. Do you have some sort of a specific communication plan to tell everybody that we're sustainable? And how do you do that? Do you tell, I mean, to administration, to our families we work with? Do you have that in your radar?
Yes, we did. When we published the report, we did a press report. Of course, we released a statement. We also added in pretty much every newsletter that we send out. Of course, we have it in our contracts because of the opt-out possibility for people. We also have 2 landing pages on our website that explain in a very easy way what we do, and they link to our sustainability report, of course. We did some social media on the topic as well. We use it on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Let me think what else.
So you really
I don't
make
get tired
an
of
effort.
I don't get tired of saying that we are the first German exchange organization to do this.
That sounds great. The first
yeah, it
one
does, right?
something. The
It's
first
true,
one.
true. Yeah, so yeah, and we also do a lot of networking ever since we started. Well, not started, but kind of emphasized the topic. We started networking and getting to know people in the industry, but also in our region, to talk with them about our sustainability ideas. We also took, actually this was beginning this year, we are trying to win some prizes for that specific topic. So
wonderful.
yeah, we're at least yeah, trying to get it out there and to talk to people about our mission. And
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I have another question, and then I'll give somebody else. I gather you are in charge of all of this, kind of the officer, sustainability
Yes.
effort. But of course, you are a big team. I mean, you have. How can we do this if we don't have such a big team? Do we need to get somebody involved, or maybe the director should get involved, or maybe something we, kind of spread around? What will be your
very good question.
advice?
Well, I think what you need is definitely a person that feels in charge for this. And I am the ESG manager of our team, but at the time when I was doing this, I was also leading the marketing team as well. So I did this kind of on the side, but I still had enough time to do this. But of course, if you have more time, if you have a bigger team, that always helps. Let's be honest. But if you want to work on this, you can easily do this with your whole team and like give them little ideas or tasks to work on. So this is actually what we did with the task force that I mentioned in the beginning. Before the sustainability report, we were a team of 20 people, I think, all from different program areas, finances, organizational development, also high school, inbound, outbound, short-term programs, so all together. And we kind of split up. But the thing is, what we very quickly realize is you need one person to be in charge and actually get the people there and ask for deadlines and ask for certain things that I wanted to submit, because if there's nobody speeding up the project, then nothing's going to happen in the end. And somebody had to write that report from 50 some pages. So you had to have one person that actually took care of it. But yeah, I think it's necessary to have at least a person that feels in charge, maybe not, but this person doesn't have to do all the jobs in one person. So
yeah. Oof. Thank you. Yeah. So Anna Severo, you have a hand, maybe you have a question, and at the same time you have a question, maybe you can add something. How do you people do from Spain and
yeah. Okay. Well, so, I mean, first of all, hi to everyone. It's so nice to see you, to see faces. It's been a while since we met. So I hope you are well. And thank you, Antonio, for this opportunity. And thank you, Rebecca, for all this wonderful information. And congratulations to the experiment in Germany for this very good work. It's so inspiring. I noted different things. I realized No, we're actually doing many of the things, but we haven't done the report yet. So my big thing is to ask someone in the team to collect all we already doing and put it into a report. But then I mean my big suggestion, I think, is we need this into the certification. So, I mean, our certification needs to have the sustainability principles and standards and an entire area on sustainability, and then we certify in sustainability, or we at least know what do we need to know through our certification. So, I mean, there is a lot. I mean, there is a huge inspiration in Experiment Germany for that. So maybe it's just something I think we should do. Yeah. So especially for those that we recertify this year. So I don't know if we're on time, how we can organize this work, but it would be good to include this piece of work into the certification. So it will make things easier for all of us. Yeah. So, and yeah, and one more thing, for small organization, like our organization, or small or medium organization, I mean, for example, in our case, working in alliances and in partnership is key for sustainability. For example, we're based in Impact Hub. So Impact Hub is a B Corp organization. So at least we know all we use, the resources we use, everything we use is sustainable itself because they've been certified. So again, you know, how important it is to know with whom you partnership with. Yeah, so
definitely.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, more questions, suggestions. We're in a family. This is just for us, so we can share openly. And if you don't have questions, I'll ask you questions. Cecilia, our president.
Thank you everybody too. Thank you, Rabia and Bettina, Tom, all this staff and Experiment that has been working with this program. It sounds really interesting and exciting also. And congratulations on being the first German organization to do it. I'm sure that many more are going to follow your steps, so I have to be very proud of that. I was wondering about accountability from your partners overseas. Are you envisioning how are you going to work with that? How can you support your partners overseas following your steps? Because I know, like in the case of Mexico, the idea sounds very interesting, but it would be kind of difficult for us to put in place some of the marks that you're given. But it would be great if we can have that exchange of ideas if you have something for the future.
Yeah. And that's a big challenge, yes, because of the cultural diversity, of course. Not every organization has the same standards like we have in Germany, so it's all different, and we need to adapt to that. But what we do is we kind of just stay in touch with them. When we talk to our partners, we always address the sustainability things, and we try to inspire them with our ideas and try to get them maybe, you know, some of our ideas, maybe they can adapt in some way for their program. So this is kind of what we're doing, but I think Bettina can add some more.
Yes, Bettina, you have your hand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the sun is like, you know, I want to show you that the sun can also shine in Germany. It's in my office and I don't know what to do. So you just have to bear with me, and I'm going to try and see something here. So, I mean, I think especially in the intercultural context, you have to be very careful, because something that is totally sustainable for us might not even be a possibility somewhere else. So what we don't want to do is like, you know, put pressure on partners and say, if you don't do this, we're no longer going to work with you. Interestingly enough, the first question we got from the US Embassy when we told them, hey, great, we're the first German organization that has published this report, the first question they sent was, So what does it mean for us? Will it cost more when we work with you, or like the negative side? And we want to get away from this negative side. We want to have sustainability as a cool thing, as something that is inspiring, but that is not, it's not the Bible. It's we are passionate about it, but we don't want to be, we don't want to put pressure on anyone. We want to, like you said, Rabea, we want to get the passion across, and we want to maybe motivate and inspire, but we will absolutely take into consideration that not Germany is Germany and other countries are other countries. But I think we can still get into a discussion. And one thing where we always realize that there is an ambiguity that we have to stand and just, that we're not going to change it, is the whole topic around vegetarianism and veganism. Because in Germany, I would say half of the kids are vegan or vegetarian. And we know that in many countries that's not the case. Hiro is shaking his head, and we know that. Yeah, and I mean it is a challenge for us, because we have to very often we have to turn down participants because we have to tell them, sorry, our partner organization won't be able to place you, and they're like, what? But I'm vegan because I believe in sustainability, and we're like, we know, but welcome to intercultural learning. So that's, I think there will be these topics where we have to be able to stand that there is an ambiguity that we cannot solve right away, but we can get into a conversation. And I think that's where we as exchange organizations come into place. Like, let's not polarize, let's connect. I think this is what Experiment is all about.
That's great. It's a matter of passion. It's not a matter of requirements, right?
And it's not pointing fingers at anyone, because, as I said, we are not perfect either. I think there's a lot of things that we can still do better. And every now and then we order from Amazon because that's the quickest and maybe the cheapest way. And that is the economical aspect that we kind of have in mind then. But we try our best, and we try to usually get our office supplies from a sustainable seller. But as I said, every now and then we have to make an exception. And that's, I think you put it in good words, Bettina. This is what we're just trying to inspire and maybe get in a discussion just like we're doing right now. So
I know the Sun in Germany, they're pretending all this has to do with something. Hiro, you were mentioned in this conversation. It would be so great from your Japanese point of view, from Asia. What is sustainability all about? Can you manage to propose something? How do you do in Japan?
Oh, I wish you didn't point me out.
Before you fall asleep.
No, but too late.
Okay.
But, yeah, we are very behind the scene, and still very much learning process of the all the SDGs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least maybe we are talking about like a goal 4 and a goal something, maybe like 2 goals within a SDGs goal, and that's something maybe we are targeting. But I mean, today it's a very much eye-opening session, and I really appreciate. It was something that I really need to share with my staff member. And I know I'm not answering to Antonio.
But you can answer whatever you feel like. We have Catherine from UK. Give us your thoughts. Share your thoughts about this sustainability thing, and from UK. Catherine, there you go.
Hi, everybody. No, really good to see what's happened in Germany. Thank you, Ria. That's really interesting. We made a small start in 2019. We had an intern who came and volunteered with us for 6 months, and she did a survey, a baseline study, and a report for us on where we were starting and the areas that we could look at. And that proved really helpful because it helped us identify where are the areas where we could take action. COVID interrupted that. The pandemic interrupted the progress. And we have had some staff changes. We're a small team, so we're looking at how we take this forward. And the way that we're hoping to do it, because we are small, we'd love to have a group of 20, but we aren't that many, is to have a small team with an annual action plan, which has got KPIs or targets, which have got timescales next to them, as well as actions in different areas. And the approach we've taken is to look at what we're doing already, which is what the baseline report gave us, and to build on that. So what I think is very interesting about the German example, which we'll take away from this practice seminar, is that your social areas are far wider than we have included in our sustainability plan, partly because we do those in so many different areas. So our strategic plan for the whole organisation contains a lot of information about, for example, scholarships, which is something we want to move into for both inbound and outbound. So the some of the areas that were covered by this programme sit elsewhere for us. So I think it's interesting that different organisations will have it in different places, and sometimes we don't recognise what we're already doing. So it's been really helpful for me to go back and think again, and to consider how we can bring people who are our wider team, our hosts, our local coordinators, our volunteers, into that debate in a far more active way. So thank you. I had one question. Nobody likes to talk about the difficulties, but for those of us that are earlier in our journey, which is an early stage, have you got any advice from your experiences of what we should consider, or lessons learned, or challenges, pitfalls we need to avoid, traps we need to avoid, just because that would help us fast track what we do and make sure that we're learning from your experience. So sorry to ask you about difficulties, but that's really helpful to everybody else.
No, that's fine. Actually, thank you. I think that's exactly what I said earlier. You need to have someone who feels in charge for that topic, because if you don't have one person to actually to keep track on the KPIs, then there's nobody doing it. And I think this is something that I think we underestimated, that if there's a lot, I mean, yes, we were 20 people, but and everyone did a little bit, of course, but we needed someone to take this all together, because otherwise we would have never had a report at the end to state everything. So I think first thing is choose someone, or find someone who actually takes takes the lead, and maybe if you can get external help, that always helps to have an external person to look at things and maybe help you with what you already have, because I think that is something that is very often overlooked as well, the social aspect. We always talk about ecological climate crisis, about ecological sustainability, but social sustainability is as much as big a pillar as every else pillar is. So think about what you already do and just write it down, write everything down, and get a status quo on what you already have, and then maybe think about what could be goals that can be achieved in the next year. Bettina, you want to add something?
I just wanted to add two things. The whole social impact, we also use that concept of handprint and footprint, because you have your footprint, and then you also have your handprint, which I think is a good thing, especially when you work with young people, so that you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm so helpless, we're all going to die at some point. I mean, we will, but hopefully this world will survive, and hopefully, humanity will still exist. So I think to just show, like, what can I do? Where can I start? I think that's really important. And for the challenges, what you said, I think one of the challenges with my board, or with our board, when we said we want to do this, was a bit like, oh my God, like, but we won't be perfect, and then people will say we're greenwashing. And that's like, when you try to do something good, it's funny, because it's a bit like you're a not-for-profit, so everyone it's like, oh really? And you have, I don't know, you have MacBooks, but you're a not-for-profit. Yeah, I mean, we can still have good working tools. And also, if you say we want to be a sustainable organization, people will find a fault. Like they will say, oh, but you're still doing this and that. Yeah, we never said we're perfect, but if we don't try, we will not get there. And I think it's from being like unconsciously imperfect to getting to the conscious imperfectness, and then at some point maybe we're going to be consciously not perfect but good, you know. So I think that's where you have to start, and where you don't have to be afraid, I think.
Okay. I would like to listen to somebody from Ireland. There are so many Irish people around, and they have a big team. And I have Neil here.
Sure.
Yes, give us your thoughts. Please share your thoughts with us and your practices in Ireland.
Yeah, I think that we're doing quite a few things that that EIL Germany are doing, or Experiment Germany are doing also. I think that we need to be better about communicating it. Yeah, just telling our story. I think that what I like a lot about the presentation is the economic sustainability, because if we don't have that, then you can't really do anything to help the environment, or you can't sustain yourself. So I think focusing on efficiency and economic sustainability is really important as well, part of it. And it also can perhaps get buy-in as well from people who don't necessarily see the green picture. They can see it as the economic sustainability is important as well. So I think that it's good to focus on that as well.
Somebody else from Ireland, somebody else sharing best practices or ideas or whatever.
Hi. Well, I think we are constantly working on it, but as it was mentioned before, we are quite small compared to EIL Germany, and so
no,
for
that
us,
is small.
but yeah, but we're trying to work on it. We do follow the code of good practice as well, and attend meetings and try to achieve goals and all that. But I also think it would be great to maybe involve volunteers even more in that, because they're such a big part of who we are, and I'm sure they're all full of great ideas. So I actually thank you so much, Rabea, for this. I'm very inspired now, and I think there's a lot we can work on. And yeah, I can't wait to discuss it with the team and see what we can do to work towards it.
Yeah, great.
So thank you.
Thank you. Let me ask Carola from Ecuador. They have one program in the Galapagos Islands, and sustainability seems to be in their programs. What are your thoughts, Carola, about this? How do you manage from Ecuador?
Thank you. I think it was very inspiring to know how Experiment Germany managed everything about sustainability, and I take so many ideas from them. So I need to share with my team, and we will see how can we implement this in our environment. Of course, we have so many things that we already do. For example, we also have vegetarian food for seminaries. We always try to implement in our volunteer programs anything of sustainability, garbage management, and we have so many environmental programs, but we have so many things to do yet.
Okay, great. And let me ask, we have people from Italy. We have Anne from Italy. And you need to say something. You couldn't attend the General Assembly. We miss you people so much. And please say something.
Okay. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see so many people. Unfortunately, Italy is very far behind in addressing this subject consciously. I think subconsciously we all think and try and do our best. You have given us a lot of food for thought to put something on paper, to be more specific about what we do, how we do it, and where we want to get to. We are a very, very small organization, but we can do our bit. It may not be very much, but every little bit helps, I think, in every sector of sustainability. As you know, Italy is a country where I would say 95% of the population are not vegetarian. So
pizza is not vegetarian.
It's not a popular word, vegetarian, in Italy. It's becoming more usual, and people don't make a problem of it. Whereas a few years ago, a vegetarian was a strange person. Don't eat meat. What's wrong with you? Now, you just, I mean, in the restaurant, whatever, they've got specific menus for vegetarians and so on. Things that 10 years ago didn't exist. Slowly, slowly, Italy will join the rest of the world in this field.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Tom from Germany, some final thoughts or initial thoughts.
Is it on me now? No, I think what is, I can echo what Bettina said earlier, and also what Rabea who has really been key in moving us forward with all this topic. I mean, you know, you're gonna have the idea, but you need people to be motivated to carry this out and to also go to the hardships. And when Rabea said earlier, it's great to have some external person who guides you through this. I mean, part of the reality is that that person also challenges you, and sometimes you just have written, like, I don't know, something 50 pages, and then that person comes back and says, nice that you wrote this, but half of this is really not what I was looking for. So I mean, it's as in every area where we work, there's expertise and there's people who are way further along with the way they look at the topic, but we all have to start at some point. And I think it's good to be connected to people and to kind of share ideas and to kind of start where we are. And I'm not speaking for Abea, but I'm speaking for all of it Experiment Germany. If any of you has a question or feels like you need to get more ideas on how we approach certain things and what pitfalls we had, please feel free to get back to Rabea, mainly because she has all the knowledge that our organization has gained over the last 4 years in making this possible. But like, I just wanted to add one thing that I think is really important, and that kind of came up at a number of points within the last 30 minutes in the discussion. I think we always underestimate what we do. I think we always go a little bit too low in what we already have accomplished and where we already are. And if we compare ourselves, and I don't want to get into blaming anyone. I mean, there's people here, not in this room, but on the world, who fly to New York City for just Christmas shopping in a day, or who just go to Dubai for like a weekend and go skiing there. And as long as we focus on what we do and kind of take out the positive aspects of our exchange programs and the social value and all the other aspects of what we do in fostering friendship, we should kind of put that into light and say, this is what we do. And by doing that, all of our organizations, being them small or big, already contribute a lot to going on a way and accomplishing something in terms of ESG. And so I just kind of want to empower you to go out there and say, this is what you do. And all of you are always doing more than you probably think you are doing, because of the social impact all of our programs have on each individuals and host families on cross-cultural understanding. And so just don't hold yourself back and saying, oh, this is really too big. Like, no, you already do a lot, and just find a way to shine light on what you already do.
Thank you, Tom. I knew you had the final words for this.
Beautiful ending, right?
Yes, you see, I know this guy. Beautiful. So conscious, passion, leadership, and vegetarian pizzas. So that's my learning, and this is not all. This is just the beginning of the conversation. I intend to run another webinar before summer, just one, and then after summer maybe another one, and keep on talking in the General Assembly and maybe the next months. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
You can open the microphone, say bye, send messages.
Thanks, Antonio.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. See you.
Bye.
Good night, Japan.
Bye.
Good night, Hero.
Ciao, Hero.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you, Rabea, so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I thought this went well, right?
Yeah,
I love the discussion.
Yeah,
it was really, really